Hello, this is Jake from Optimus Futures, and welcome to our introduction video to options on Trading Technologies' TT platform. Now, the TT platform provides options traders with all the tools they need to view and analyze option markets, identify opportunities, execute trades, and assess position risk. In this video, we'll provide a tour of options on TT and demonstrate how traders can use the available widgets and analytics to empower their options trading. We will demonstrate various ways to view options market data and execute trades, the wide variety of strategy creation capabilities, its analytic features, and its position risk monitoring. Now, TT provides an extensive view of the options market, as well as the ability to quickly execute orders and RFQ options. It also provides traders with the ability to change displays for market data for both calls and puts at all strikes of an options expiry in an intuitive and configurable display. Now, as we can see here on the left-hand side of my screen, this is the options chain. This can be configured to a specific instrument of your choice. And as you can see, we can easily see volatility here on my left-hand side, the four leftmost columns. We can see Greeks and theoretical values, as well as the current market for the underlying futures contract to place an order for any call or put on the underlying futures contract. Now, if you'd like to, with the options chain open, you can simply left click on one of the various option contracts, and it will automatically open up and configure a floating order ticket widget for you. That way you can place options while multitasking still on the options chain. It's also possible to open up a DOM for one of the various options on our options chain. Simply right-click within the options chain, scroll over the Open option, and then click on MD Trader. As you can see, a DOM, or otherwise known on TT as the MD Trader, will automatically open up for the contract that you specified. Now, if you'd like to change your contract for the floating order widget ticket, you can do so by merely left-clicking on one of the various other options within our options chain. As you can see here, I just have left-clicked on a different option, and my floating order ticket widget automatically reconfigures to the new option that I've selected. It's also worth noting that you can place an RFQ for any of the various options by simply right-clicking on the option that you'd like to place it for, and then left-clicking Submit RFQ. Now, unfortunately, although you cannot see it, up here in the top right-hand corner of my platform currently is the Rfq Viewer. This displays all of the various RFQs that are currently being placed in the market. You can utilize these RFQs to filter by various strategies and by various price ranges. If you'd like to, you can update any of the existing RFQs, but unfortunately we won't be able to show you this because we are using delayed data. So just to recap, the Rfq Viewer lets us view all RFQs submitted by market participants. We can pin strategies of interest to the top of the widget quickly, and we could also place orders in response to any displayed RFQ. And we're also allowed to resubmit an RFQ if it appears to be outdated. Now, besides viewing RFQs in the market, we're also able to view trading activity in the market across an entire options product family using the Options Trade Monitor. Now, you can find our Options Trade Monitor located in the bottom right-hand corner of our window here. Now, in addition to displaying time and sales data, the Options Trade Monitor includes a robust multi-layering filtering capability that allows us to filter our data down to specific monthly or weekly product by trade quantity days to expiration, strike range, and more. Now, as you can see here in the top left of our Trade Monitor widget, you can search for the contract that you'd like to filter and select a specific trade activity for. And you can also use the robust filtering tool by simply clicking on the filter icon below. And then we can add a unique rule set that applies directly to the rules that we'd like to trade options on. For example, I can click and or to create the beginning of my expression, and then I can add a rule, and then we can specifically specify what we would like to do with this option and how we would like to place a trade for it. As you can see, you could filter by puts or call, and then we can change our equals to, and then we can also put puts or call, and then we can add different groups as well, and once again alter our expression based off of the rules that we'd like to place for our different options. Now, as I mentioned before, there are strategies that can be utilized in the Rfq Viewer. Now, these strategies can actually be created under widgets, options, and then by heading over to strategy creation. Now, unfortunately, we are limited into what we can show you because, again, we are using delayed and simulated data. But the strategy creation uses a comprehensive tool set for creating and monitoring user-defined strategies comprised of any number of options and futures contracts, to strategy creation, which gives us the ability to build multiple strategies which can be created in the market or sent to the watchlist widget, where they can be monitored and evaluated before going public. So as you see here within the strategy creation screen, we can first filter by which exchange we'd like to create a strategy for, and then we can filter based off of which account. From here, we can create various legs of a strategy to create strategies of our own. And then once we have the strategy that we have configured, we can go to create, and then we can create our own strategy. Now, you can also send it directly to the watch list, which will not send it to the exchange yet, but you can watch, and when you're ready to act upon it, you can place a strategy. Now, it's also worth noting that there are various templates here which can be used by clicking on templates. As you can see, there are a vast amount of different default templates that can be used to create a strategy. Now, there are multiple methods of using and interfacing with the strategy creation widget. So we can build our strategies one leg at a time, and we can use these different templates to help us construct strategies. And then we can also seed our strategy using the instruments contained in an existing RFQ. And we can use the strategy creation buttons in the options chain and simply click on the instruments we would like to include in the legs that we have defined in our strategy. So now that we covered strategy creation on TT, that leads us perfectly into our next topic. Heading over to widgets, options, and then the vol curve manager. As you can see, TT has a built-in vol curve for users of the platform to utilize. Once open, simply just designate the option family that you would like to open up a vol curve for. Now, it's worth noting that all of the Greeks and theoretical values used across the widgets in the TT platform are based on a fitted vol curve calculation. And this is calculated using industry standard options models. Now, by default, this vol curve is calculated by TT, but users also have the ability to make adjustments to these volatility calculations. TT vol curve managers allows users to view his vol curve manager by bid, ask, settle, and midpoint data for the expertise of an options product family. Now, as you can see here, these settings can be configured right here in the 7 or so different fields here. As you can see, the auto is generated by TT. We can also adjust our user defined vol curve here. And then we have our ask, mid, our bid, prices of the vol curve. And then we can also adjust based off of the settle and historical values. Now, it's also worth mentioning that the vol curve calculated by TT also records volatility data to provide 2 days worth of historical at the money volatility, used as a fitted vol curve to calculate our Greeks and theoretical values with the vol curve manager. And as you can see, this 2-day historical data can be found here at the very bottom of our page. And by using our cursor and dragging across, we can actually create our own vol curve here. As you can see, this was configured with the historical setting here. And based off of where we place our cursor, that is how our vol curve will adjust based on the timing of our cursor here. Now, leading on to our final point, with options on TT, besides being able to see our positions, we can actually see our P&L in terms of theoretical value. This can be viewed under widgets, options, and then options risk. Now, unfortunately, as I have mentioned multiple times throughout this video, we are using simulated data. So unfortunately, we have not placed any trades or options under this account. But if we did, we could apply what if scenarios to these calculations to see how our portfolio performs under a variety of price volatility fluctuations. And our options risk widget organizes options contracts together with our underlying futures contracts and displays their information in a manner that better illustrates the overall position and risk. Now we can see our Greeks in P&L for individual option position, as well as aggregate Greek P&L at the product family futures contract and options expiry level. We also have the ability to view the performance of our portfolio by adding shocks to our underlying price and volatility to simulate changes in the market. The options risk matrix lets us view the performance of our portfolio under multiple user-defined scenarios. We can enter a series of price changes to the underlying instrument, as well as changes in volatility, see their effect on our P&L and Greeks. So as you can see on the TT platform, it includes the analytics and visualization tools that options traders need to identify trading opportunities, execute trades, and manage their options portfolios.